Now, using the 20mm drill guide is very simple. The drill is going to go in one of two places, and each of these places have got this bronze bushing. Now, bear in mind this drill is specially made and it has a precision ground shaft, so that it fits absolutely perfectly in whichever of these two bronze bushes is being used. Now, we do recommend that you put a tiny spot of oil, such as 3-in-1, on the shaft of this before you start using it. And the way this works is very simple. I'll put it into the first position, like so, and there's a 3mm hole just there. If I move this forward, and now I take two of the 3mm guide pins, and I line these up such that it's going to go through the hole in the guide block and then through into a hole in the bench. That's that one in place, and that's that one in place. And you can check this to make sure it's in by giving it a wiggle. And now, because there's potential for you to exert force forward and backwards on this, I still recommend that you clamp whenever possible. After a while you may feel you don't need that, but for the time being I recommend it. And I use an extractor because that just keeps the overall dust and debris level down in the workshop. And I must say, this is an example of where the removable chuck on the Festool drills is so useful. And there we have a nice clean hole. Now, you will need a little bit of practice. If you push too hard, you'll get some breakout here. And if you go too slowly, but you've got the drill spinning rapidly, you may get a bit of burning. So you've just got to judge the speed perfectly for the type of material you're using. Now, do watch, sometimes you get that little disc that appears at the bottom of Forstner bits when you're at the final part of the cut, and if that's present on the end of the drill bit before you start the new hole, just pull it off. So it's not always going to be possible to put a clamp on, and so there will be times when you'll just have to go very carefully without the clamp. Well, using the 3mm pins in the original position, I've cut the ones that you see here. And the ones that are missing, I'm going to put a bit of red on, because these we're going to use a different method to cut these holes. There's that one, there's this one here, there's this one here, and this one there. So you can now see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 holes that I couldn't cut using the 3mm pins, because by then I'd made a 20mm hole where the 3mm pin should go. So what we do is very simple. We take the drill bit out of that position and put it into the second position. And we now use the small bench dogs from Lee Valley to do our lining up. And setting this up is very simple. I'm going to use one of those dogs in each of those two holes there. I'm then going to put the jig over the top of those holes, lower it down carefully, make sure it's firmly seated, and then away I go. And that was really, really simple. And I just move along to do the next ones. So that's my track saw cutting station complete now, and it would normally have its 2 Parf dogs there, and then I would put the smaller bench dogs from Veritas there and there. I'd have my piece of wood to be cut against there, and my track will go here. And that's it. And if I'm cutting something which is narrower, I can move it closer to me so I'm not leaning over quite so much, and I think that's absolutely perfect. And I'm future-proofed here because I've left some of these 3mm holes ready so that if I needed to put some more holes down here, I can put the Parf sticks across and continue the process just as you've seen me do now. I've turned this upside down now, and I'm trying to show that there's no appreciable breakout. There's little tiny bits here and there, but nothing of any great importance. And there was no sacrificial backing piece underneath this at any stage. Right, now it's time to test this. I've got the same piece of wood I used earlier. I've put my first name there. My saw's all connected up. Track saws against the Parf dogs. The works against the smaller dogs. And here we go. Take this out straight away. I hope you can see that that's a perfect cut. Well, that's it. That's the UJK Parf Guide system. It's absolutely brilliant for making custom workbench tops, custom track saw cutting stations, and if you've got it in the back of your van and you suddenly realise you need to do a lot of square cutting, you can make yourself up a very quick, impromptu cutting station in a matter of minutes. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.